Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 1 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now let's get straight into your weather forecast. Again, we continue to monitor Hurricane Melissa, Category 5 Hurricane Melissa, very closely. Again, still has yet to officially make landfall, but again, does look like that system again has moved over land. We'll double check again, but this is a system that is very slowly working its way over Jamaica. Now it's expected again to make landfall on the southern coast of Jamaica. Right now it is currently moving over the southern coast, but because that eye has yet to actually move overhead, it is not yet quantified as a landfalling hurricane. And unfortunately, looks like that is not working. We're going to check a few things, and unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be working for me. All right, we're going to keep it going then. So, unfortunately, can't seem to get updates right now from the National Hurricane Center. Perhaps that has to do with the government shutdown. We'll get into your news details coming up in just a few moments. But here's the latest from the National Hurricane Center as of 1 o'clock, moving northeast. Melissa, Hurricane Melissa, Category 5. Hurricane Melissa moving northeast at 9 miles an hour, maximum sustained winds of 185 miles an hour. And again, NBC is reporting that Melissa is on the brink of making landfall in Jamaica as a Category 5 hurricane. It's already one of the strongest hurricanes to grace the Atlantic basin with a pressure reading of 892 millibars. Right now, maximum sustained winds are higher than that of Hurricane Katrina before Katrina made landfall in Louisiana and Mississippi. For us, this is going to be a system we'll certainly be paying attention to, but the good news is it's going to have to get over several land masses before it actually starts to potentially impact eastern North Carolina. And those impacts that we're talking about wave impacts. So later on tonight into the early hours of Wednesday morning, Melissa's going to be moving over the southern coast of Cuba. From there, it will be racing out towards Bermuda as either a Category 2 or a Category 1 hurricane. Now that time, from really your Wednesday evening through Thursday, Melissa's going to be generating quite a bit of wave energy, and that wave energy is going to be crashing along our coast coming up for Thursday and even possibly parts of Friday. That leads to more beach erosion. So could we possibly see Melissa claim a house or two off the Outer Banks and maybe even the Crystal Coast? That is a possibility. Absolutely. The good news is Melissa looks to be picking up forward movement speed once it clears the Turks and Caicos Islands, and that is good news for us as it will limit our exposure to some of those higher waves. Right now, the concern is more wind-based, but I know rain is really kind of stealing the show. Most people aren't hanging out outside too much to notice the wind, but the rain showers you can appreciate coming in from an inside spot. Maybe you're looking outside through a window, notice just how gray and gloomy it is. Well, it's going to stay that way through the entirety of today. Not seeing any sort of change for your rainfall until we get possibly into tomorrow morning. It's not going to be a huge change, but it will at least be some. Wednesday, we will have a few showers around, but Wednesday afternoon to Wednesday evening is when the rain is expected to pick back up again and again create more of a look like this outside. This is our Neuse River cam. I continue to show you this one because again, it just highlights the dreariness of the day. 59 degrees right now in Newbern, northeasterly wind 17 miles an hour. Temperatures today really not getting all that warm. We've got our high marked at 58 degrees, but most areas have just kind of stayed consistent from morning air temperatures to where we're at right now. We are looking at the low 60s along the coast, but winds currently blowing in at around 20 to 25 miles an hour for those of you watching around the Sounds and the Outer Banks. We've got a 22 mile an hour sustained wind in Beaufort, 24 in Manio, 25 in Elizabeth City. And now even Rocky Mount right now is showing a 20 mile an hour sustained wind. Winds are just strong right now because of a low pressure system rolling by. That's giving us the cloud cover, it's giving us the rain. As you can clearly see, it's also giving us the winds. Right now, winds out of the northeast gusting in at about 25 to 35 miles an hour, generally speaking. Now, there are certainly some areas that are a bit outside that range. Right now, Beaufort coming in with a 38 mile per hour gust, 37 mile per hour gust in Manio, 41 though in Piney Island. So far today, the windiest spots we've really noticed, Elizabeth City, Manio, and Piney Island, those areas have really seen gusts sustained around 35 up to about 45 miles an hour. It's been a very windy day, but the winds will slowly relax later on this evening. They're not going calm, but more of a 7 to 15 mile per hour breeze is certainly more beneficial than the winds we're currently seeing right now. And it does look like, again, NBC News is now reporting that Hurricane Melissa has made landfall as the most powerful storm ever to strike Jamaica. So that, again, is news we are just getting out of NBC. We knew that, again, this would be a massive storm system that really devastates that Caribbean island. But the concern is not just for Jamaica, but also surrounding areas. Cuba's going to have to go through this system as well. So there's more than just Jamaica that's going to be impacted by this system. It's one that it'll be interesting to see how everything fares at the end. There was a lot of preparation put into, again, trying to keep Melissa from being a deadly storm, but unfortunately it has already claimed at least 4 lives that we know about as of right now, and expecting that number unfortunately to go up as we unfortunately head through tonight and into tomorrow morning. I think tomorrow we'll have a better idea of exactly what Melissa has truly done to Jamaica than what we're going to get from the island nation today. Here's a look at what we've got going on across the southeastern United States. So, area of low pressure back across eastern North Carolina. That's going to be the story of the day. That system moving over the east, creating the windy and gloomy conditions. But we've got another one set up coming up for your Wednesday. That will again bring another round of this same weather to eastern North Carolina. For your Wednesday afternoon, I would say Wednesday around lunchtime, things will really start to deteriorate again, and it will stay gloomy, wet, and rainy all the way through at least Thursday at lunchtime. Now, the good news with this system, you'll notice it right there. You can see Melissa, the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. The cold front that's going to be giving us the rain showers really Thursday morning, late Wednesday night, Thursday morning, that is going to do a great job of making sure that Melissa does not try to take a wayward turn off to the northwest and possibly impact us a little bit more directly. So again, this is exactly what we were hoping would happen. It's looking like it's going to shake out that way. But again, as Guy Best said on Facebook, prayers for those people on those islands. Again, the Caribbean is just catching it right on the chin right now. And if we can, it'd be a really nice move to maybe see if you can donate to a nonprofit that will go towards helping those people get back on their feet. Wednesday, 30% chance of rain during the day, but again, we'll see those rain showers really pick up overnight Wednesday night into Thursday morning. We'll see those rain showers linger over the first half of Thursday before we dry out completely for Halloween Friday. 63 degrees on Halloween day, but Halloween night we'll see lows drop all the way down to the low 40s. So if you're wondering, okay, trick-or-treating weather, what are we looking at? Anticipate the mid to low 50s across most inland areas. If you're going to be trick-or-treating a little bit closer to the water, I would say upper 50s to mid 50s. Regardless, you may want to have a jacket on standby, especially if you plan on staying out past 9 p.m. At that point, again, you may be dealing with a little bit more of a chill than what you'll experience by the time you actually walk out the door to start trick-or-treating. Now, of course, we also have the gaining of an hour coming up on Sunday. We roll the clocks back an hour, hopefully gain that hour of sleep, but also make sure you change the batteries in your smoke detectors at home. We'll be back in the low 70s for the following week, but this weekend staying a little bit cool in the mid 60s for both Saturday as well as Sunday. That's all we have time for today's 1 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. We've only covered the weather. I do have some news stories we want to give to you guys. And in fact, some of them actually very important. We've got breaking news as well, not just out of the Caribbean with the now official landfall of Hurricane Melissa, but we are also tracking the ceasefire in Gaza. Right now it's being put under threat as Benjamin Netanyahu said today that the remains of a hostage that was returned to them was actually the remains of another hostage who was recovered by Israeli troops earlier in the war. And that, of course, has rattled the tenuous ceasefire agreement. NBC's Matt Bradley has more from Tel Aviv.
Well, last night, another much-anticipated development came and went and left everyone disappointed. Hamas turned over the body of yet another slain hostage from the Gaza Strip, but this time the Israelis said that this body, belonging to a young man named Ofir Zarfati, was actually the remains that had already been handed over back in 2023. Not once, but twice. So this is very grim, very morbid, but it sounds as though pieces of this young man's body have been handed over now for a third time. And Israeli investigators have said that the body matched Ofir's, not any of the now 13 hostages who still remain, their corpses, in the Gaza Strip, the Israelis say, in violation of that ceasefire. Now, the people that I've been speaking to who are close to the halls of power here, they say that the Israeli government is very angry about the fact that Hamas hasn't turned over those remaining 13 bodies. But all of this was telegraphed in advance. Hamas had made clear during the negotiation stages of this deal that they were going to struggle to find those remaining bodies, in part because Gaza has been totally destroyed and is covered in rubble. Some of the fighters who actually buried some of these hostages' bodies have since been killed, and some of the areas where the bodies are thought to be are actually in areas where the Israelis still occupy. So while the Israelis have given the Hamas access to those areas with the Red Cross and an extraordinary level of cooperation, there still are lots of struggles and lots of difficulties in reaching those bodies. Now, meanwhile, that means that this ceasefire is still stuck in phase one, even as we're seeing negotiations trying to move along to phase two. But again, the people that I've been speaking to say that while Israel has no appetite to return back to war in the Gaza Strip, and despite some ceasefire violations about a week ago by Hamas, according to the Israelis, there is no appetite, it sounds like so far, on Hamas's side to go back to war either. So right now we are left in what looks like a gray area. Phase one is not complete because the bodies are not returned. Negotiations have not really proceeded towards anything that would resemble what phase two or phase three will look like. But still, despite everything, the ceasefire still holds. NBC News, Tel Aviv.
Thank you very much, Matt, for that report. Now we also want to highlight news out of Duplin County, where Beasley Torrens Road near Perry Riverbank, Rivenbark Road has been closed off for bridge maintenance, according to the State Department of Transportation. Now, crews began work this morning on the bridge over Highway 40. Now, drivers can detour through Highway 117 to Highway 903 and then to Isham Frederick Road. Now, the road is expected to reopen coming up on November 7th. That's all we have time for today's 1 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, I hope you all have a fantastic Tuesday.